We had almost done like a complete mock setup of what we were doing for the wedding. So it's more like a small trailer to the whole wedding show.
There are clients who don't do a food tasting.
They don't even discuss the menu. They don't even come on the food tasting. They leave absolutely everything like, Jay, whatever you do, and this is it. It has gone to the consumption level more than a pizza, which was the highest consumption. Now it's sushis have gone to the higher level of consumption.
If Jai was to talk to somebody
Yeah.
who's starting off in wedding catering today,
Yeah.
what would be his advice? Jai, are you a culinary artist or a businessman?
I can say both. I'm a culinary artist whenever I'm preparing or curating a menu, and maybe whenever I'm in the kitchen trying out new recipes with my chef and all. And whenever I'm charging someone, I automatically become a businessman. So I would say a good balance of a culinary artist and a businessman together.
Great. Jai, everybody talks about destination weddings and innovations.
Yeah.
But what do clients really want when they are going for a destination wedding in the Middle East, Southeast Asia, or Europe?
Correct.
Is it a culinary adventure or are they looking at comfort food?
To greater extent, comfort food, because whenever they are doing a destination wedding, they have a lot of international chefs over there. So the first initial requirement starts with comfort food because they have their elders and senior citizens or people who will not be too much of an exposure to the food. So they will look for comfort food. But when we go finally over there, when the youngsters are a part of the menu discussions, the culinary requirement comes in. They want newness, they want some kind of signature items, some kind of style statements, right from your presentation to everything. So to greater extent, both again, and that's what people call us for.
So it's really how you strike a balance.
Yeah.
Elders want comfort.
Yes.
And youngsters want statement. Or
Correct.
they're looking for the fusion foods.
Correct.
And others.
Correct. Like it starts somewhere like the morning tea. See, when you have a day reception, that kind of things are not required. But your morning tea or morning coffee or that kind of special tea is required. So we have special tea makers coming there, mera pani wala chai, mera ye chai. So those kind, because the guest is there for like approximately 6 meals or 8 meals with the family. So the smaller requirements and all this, where the additional caterer or the external caterers are required. And that's why
you have to bring in the detailing.
The basic requirement, the dietary requirements. I'm Jain, I'm not eating spicy, all those kind of things. So all those things have been very well catered by us and we take care of the guest very well.
Tell me one wedding where the number of food tastings was the maximum.
Oh, I would say, I would not name them, but it was a wedding from race course. And we had a group of around 35 to 40 people coming for tasting.
What is called the family food committee.
Called the food committee, and we had done a tasting session twice with them.
35 each.
35, 40 in total from both the families, counting together. But it was one of the largest tasting we had done. We had almost done like a complete mock setup of what we were doing for the wedding. So it's more like a small trailer to the whole wedding show. But we really enjoyed that journey.
So you call it the trailer to the wedding show?
A trailer to the wedding show.
So it's not a tasting, it's a trailer
to the wedding show. So it was not only the food tasting, it was the kind of presentation we were going to do. It was the kind of display of the crockery, the linen, the uniforms. So tasting does not only end by the food tasting. It's a complete package. This is how your dinner is going to look. This is how your wedding food is going to look like. So that's how we go about it. But it was quite an interesting journey.
And a wedding where the crew size was the largest?
It was approximately 1,200 people we had taken for a destination wedding.
Overseas?
Yeah, overseas. No, not overseas. It was in India.
1,200, which includes
1,200 people, which includes chefs, servers, admin staff, logistics, you name the genre and we were there.
You needed a caterer only to cater to that 1,200, I'm sure.
Honestly, we hired a local caterer to cater to my team, and there were different modes of transport we had taken. to, like, people won't believe, but I had booked a train completely from Bombay Central, starting and going towards that destination, which was completely occupied by my team. So it was like that.
And you can call it food journeys.
It is a food journey. It was a very, very different.
Hospitality and caterers.
Correct. It was a great experience again.
Is there any destination where you found it very difficult?
Yeah.
Whether to get the ingredients or just operationally where it was a challenge? Yeah. So, I'm sure there have been many, but one.
Yeah, it started among the first few. I went to Malta, which is in Europe, where we had one wedding, and it was a very, very small country, I'd say. So the moment the client inquired, I went on the map and Google and searched where is this island kind of country, and it was like right below the European part. And when I went over there, the first challenge was, as you said, like, everything was looking great, but how do I source the ingredients? Then I kept on moving over there. There was a small community of Indians staying over there. And there was one grocer where the part of the shop was his house and the part of the shop was where he was selling groceries.
How interesting.
And I felt like that I've met God, oh, you are the man. And that's how it was that difficult. But luckily, we could crack with him and we could import a lot of ingredients from London, keeping
This is when you did a recce trip before the wedding?
And the second recce. The first recce, I could not crack it. In the second recce, I could find someone and we could reach all the challenges. So, but it was again...
this was an adventure from Malta.
Yeah.
And I can see it as a film.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at that time, I'm sure you didn't have reel makers.
Absolutely
Otherwise,
not.
you could have actually done a reel of knocking on people's doors, Indian homes, saying, "Yahan pe chawal kidhar milta hai."
Trust me, that was the case. I had my haversack and I remember those days walking by the street and whosoever I could see an Indian walking by and I was like, sir, thoda ye guide kar do, that way. And that's how I went over there. It was a good thing to
But now when you travel, you take everything with you, right? Right from the grains to the masalas?
No. So now what we have done is, like, for us, kitchen equipment is concerned, we have created our warehouses and depots at different parts. Like
UAE, or you have partnerships?
Yeah, or we have partnership. Like UAE, I have one warehouse of mine. Turkey, we have one. So like we have created Far East in Thailand, we have one. As far as the ingredients are concerned now, as we have a lot of residents, we understood the formula. If you have an Indian community, you will get at least 50 to 70% of Indian grocery or the Indian ingredients. Once you get that, whatever the shortfall, we carry it from India.
What is something which you always carry, whether you're going to Rajasthan or you're going to Paris?
Cottage cheese, paneer. Paneer is like one thing which Indians are very, very, very
especially
specific.
Vegetarians.
Especially
it is
vegetarian.
Their source of
It
protein.
is their source of protein, and they are very, very quality conscious on that. And the judgment is correct always, that they want the paneer to be like this, they want the paneer to be soft. So we always carry it from India.
So besides the paneer, is there anything else when it comes to regional food where the ingredient has to be from Bombay or the kitchens of popular caterers?
The spices, like there are certain masalas, what we don't take off the shelf, we grind it by ourselves, which is our secret to winning on the Indian recipes. It could be the North Indian or the Gujarati, Rajasthani, Maharashtrian food. We not prefer to take ready spices. We curate and we mix our spices or we grind our spices. So those kind of spices we prefer to always take it from here. And there are certain ingredients like vegetables specifically, like, which are meant for only normal Indian or specific specialty Indian gravies, that we take it from here.
But I'm sure there are a lot of vegetables which are better outside Bombay.
Absolutely, and that's always comes as a surprise.
And obviously, say the quality of some vegetables or certain milk products in a Punjab or Delhi would be better than Bombay. So I'm sure by now you know what to source from where.
So wherever I have a habit, wherever I'm traveling, whether I'm on my holiday trip or on my work trip, I generally prefer to go to the vegetable market or the grocery market of that particular region. It could be India or international. So just to understand the pulse or just to understand what is available here. So as you correctly said, certain times whenever I'm going abroad and I see the quality of onions and they say it's coming from India, I get really surprised, like how you're not getting all this. But still, so we know locally which produce is to be procured locally and what would not be available to be taken from here from India.
Jai, Do you get time to eat when you're at a wedding?
Yeah, I get time to taste, which is before my guests
And
eat.
does that become your meal, the tasting?
Almost 90% of the time, like by 6:37, I'm just into my kitchen doing my final tasting. So it's like I prefer that whenever I'm on the side, I taste before my guest could eat. It could be starting from a basic smallest chutney to the last dessert or the pan. It generally passes through like a kind of a good QC. So my meal generally gets over by that time.
Do you even have some hosts who taste some of the dishes before they are served, or do they don't have time for it?
Many. Now, again,
I would think they are so busy getting ready,
No.
but for them, real getting ready is getting ready with food, right?
Yeah. No, there are many guests, and they do have their food committees, and so they come along with us, and it's a great session.
So this is on the day of the wedding, for example.
On the day of the wedding, yeah.
If, for example, if the food counters are going to be opened at 8:30,
yeah,
and maybe before the guests walk in at 6:30, you have to keep it ready by that time.
Correct.
At least most of the dishes.
Most of the dishes, and we also go like it's something which is coming from the kitchen. And there are a lot of items, as the newer trend is, the 80% of the items are live. So we walk through the buffet and we do the tasting session. So even the client walks with us. So whenever I am doing my tasting, I tell them, like, whosoever the food committee is, please join us. We'll have this wonderful tasting session together.
So food committees are typically how many members? 5, 10? What is the average size?
Generally, the key people, I would say, there are committees which are numbers which are not to be spoken, but 2 or 3 people whom we judge, those are like the food connoisseurs, and they'll understand what we are trying to do. So we make them our champs for the event. Yeah.
They know exactly what the hosts want, the elders want,
Correct.
and what the guests want.
The key thing is, like, if they are attending all the meetings which is happening before before the wedding day, they know what has been spoken, what needs to be done. So whenever they come on the floor, they know that this has been spoken. And there are certain people who are coming directly on the spot, would be a little bit of a gap of opinions and a gap of difference of what needs to be delivered.
When it's ahead of the wedding, if Jai has a very long day and he's got to go out, what would you have in the morning to fortify yourself, Jai?
It's not in the morning, it's, I would say, Parthip, the day prior, whenever I'm finishing my wedding, if the bride's father or the groom's father and the family comes and tells us, okay, Jai, you have made my daughters and sons' day. And that, that's the biggest high we get for the next day morning to wake up and start again. So we all, I think so in this industry, would be the same for lot many my industry partners. It could be from the decor team, it could be the event team. We all wait for that small appreciation coming at the end of the day, and that keeps us going.
If Jai was not a caterer, what would he be?
I'm not into this industry. I would have been a geologist, which was one of my other passion.
Okay.
So that would have been one of the.
What did you graduate in, Jai?
I've graduated in commerce, and then I've done my post-graduation into business.
And specializing in marketing or finance?
Specializing into marketing, I would say. Yeah.
And do you sometimes, when you are in the kitchen or client meetings, do you kind of go back in time to any MBA classrooms, anything which you studied there is relevant?
A lot. In fact, that's one of my turning point when I did my post-graduation.
From Bombay University?
SP Jain.
SP Jain, okay.
When I did my post-graduation, that was one of my turning points where my vision opened up.
And did you specialize in family managed businesses?
Correct, okay. Correct. That's where I met a lot of people who are like on the similar genre, but people with different targets, different goals, with their existing business formula, their strategies. So we could learn a lot of other businesses, and the vision opened up, Parthip.
And I think that was a very smart and strategic move which SP Jain did to look at the family managed businesses.
Absolutely.
Because they were offering something which was relevant to family managed businesses. And it was not what multinationals, what was more relevant to say a multinational or a very different market.
I would say, like, the course had a lot of theoretical and practical things together. So whatever you were learning, you were going and applying to your business. So at that moment of time only, you knowing whether it's right, wrong, correction, you can speak to your teachers, you were taught, you were advised, all of that. And plus, obviously, the best learning was among the students, the group of students, whatever.
And the networks.
The networks.
And did you do this right after your graduation?
No. So what I did was, I did my graduation. After that, 4 years I was there with my father, learning under him the whole business. After that, 4 years of my experience of work, I had done my post-graduation. So in fact, that helped.
And it was a full-time MBA?
Yeah, no, it was a part-time MBA. Because of my experience of 4 years, I could immediately understand in my classroom, and I could go and apply it back into my business.
Are there days, I know everybody says that it is our daughter's wedding, it has to be the best.
Correct.
That always puts a lot of pressure on you, right?
Yeah.
But who is the client who motivates you? I'm sure there will be 1 out of 5 clients who really motivate. Who is this client? Tell us.
There are 2, I would say. One, who leaves everything upon us. Okay, with the kind of experience now we have and the kind of knowledge we have. There are many clients now like, Jay, this is the date and this is the event, this is the event flow and this is the number of people. And they completely leave upon us.
They might just have one food tasting.
And not even one. They'll come directly.
So there are clients who don't do a food
They don't even discuss the menu. They don't even come on the food tasting. They leave absolutely everything like, Jay, whatever you do and this is it. So that's like, what happens in there, why it motivates us, or it's like a trust which has been kept on us. So the responsibility of delivering on that day is much higher as compared to where we have already done the discussions and tastings and all that, because it's completely my responsibility, my company's responsibility. And there's a second group of client where if the client is really into discussing the menus and they really want something to be extracted new from us, that's where we get a little bit of a kick and a high. If you tell us to do a regular menu, that's what we've been doing. But we want someone to keep on, pushing and like, Jay, let's do something different. I'm not worried. We'll just go ahead with our newer curations. Let's not do the simple pani puris and dosas and all that. Like, let's do a gastronomical, brilliant menu.
Talking of gastronomy, was there anything which you were introduced to recently, many years before, and you thought, hey, this is really just going to be a passing fad, but it actually turned out to be popular?
The Japanese food as a cuisine, initially it was not that
especially
very
first time I had a sushi. I would think that, right?
So that was initially when we started launching it and started like putting on the dinner menus. We started with a lot of like complimentary coming from popular, because people would not prefer it. I would not.
And you didn't expect clients to pay for that.
Correct.
Right?
So, like there were simple, small eating habits or eating wrongly. Like if the guest was not educated that the wasabi has to be eaten in certain proportion, they would think like it's more of a dressing or a chutney to be eaten with your sushi. So like, so they would have a larger portion of it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
What have you given me?
What have I done to myself, But slowly, gradually people came to know about it. And that's how it got more and more famous. In fact, it's for my catering company, like I would say, it has gone to the consumption level more than a pizza, which was the highest consumption. Now it's sushis have gone to the higher level of consumption.
So it was pizzas which were really in terms of volume. Today it's sushi.
Sushi is like, that's the consumption
You would never have imagined that 15 years ago.
Never. In fact, to be honest, this is like a larger platform where people come and try certain food. So that's what always... outdoor catering is a larger platform where people come and try different kind of food.
Of course, we've seen Chinese, Italian, Japanese.
Yeah.
What is really trending now? I know this is a very difficult, because everything seems to be trending.
Yeah, everything seems to be trending.
And depends no matter what you tell me, I would say, Jai, that's last year. But what has been trending for the last 2 years? I know food tastes don't change every season, right? They once in 2 years. But what is really trending today?
See, I see a lot of people going back to the classics. Okay, it's not they wanting to have fusion. Okay, the trend was there to have a lot of fusion.
Even
food,
in mithais also.
In mithais also. But now I think so the newer trend would be people want to have the best quality food, the best quality ingredient, and the classic recipes in a good way. All right, they don't want too many fusions like Japanese food coming with some cheese, or the European food coming with some spice, or Indian food getting on the cheese. No, if I'm having Indian, let me have Indian food. If I'm having Gujarati, Rajasthani, let's stick to the authenticity. But you can change the texture, you can change the way it has been presented, the way it has been served, the warmth by the chef who's giving. All this is what the guest is looking at. The newer recipes, which are classics, and sticking to their origins. So that's what the newer theme is.
If Jai was to talk to somebody who's starting off in wedding catering today, what would be his advice to a chef or a businessman who's launching a wedding catering business today?
My basic goal has always been to give a complete satisfaction to all the guests who's coming in. Have a vision of what the host is looking for. What is that the host is feeling that today my guest should have this kind of food. Understand your audience. It's very, very important. You may have the world's best chef serving the food, but the audience is not able to comprehend. So I would tell all my food industry partners, please understand your audience, curate the menus, and keep the host views and vision, especially the bride and the groom, what they're visioning for their wedding. That should be the winning formula.
And that's what is the hallmark of a smart businessman also, right?
Correct.
The moment you understand what the client wants, it's not only about being the best chef, it's also about understanding what the...
Correct.
Is there something which the caterers would like wedding guests to know, something they don't know, but you would like those who are really eating your food to know?
In a funny way, whenever we are running short of food, like the minimum guarantee, as we say, the host has given me a guarantee of 1,000 people, and somewhere around 1,200, 1,300, and we are getting blamed at that moment of time that, oh, caterer ka khana khatam ho gaya. That is where I want the guest to know that I want to really put myself that, the minimum guarantee was 1,000. I'm somehow or the other pulling it. So that's
has
what...
ever happened?
No, we don't inform the guest.
Mm-hmm. That food fell short.
Many of weddings.
And what is?
But we have those fast cooking formulas. We have those firefighting situations. So it's never the point.
I'm sure you are mentally prepared that they could be plus 300 or plus 500 if it's a big wedding.
Exactly. So and we get a pulse also, Parthip, at the mid of the event only. By 9.
You have your plan Bs.
Correct. And at the mid only, because we know by 9:30, this is their average what people must have eaten. But today we have a higher average. This is going to go higher. So that's how we start cooking beforehand only.
Yeah, because it never happens that suddenly.
It doesn't happen suddenly. Yeah. You can't be waiting for the last moment. You need to understand the pulse and pre-assume that, this is how it's going to go.
I have also discussed this with many planners and caterers and hotels.
Yeah.
I understand many brides and grooms would like the excess food
to
be redistributed.
Correct.
But it's practically not easy. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even for a caterer?
Even for a caterer or a restaurateur or anybody from the industry. I'll explain you why. I've done this project in my master's from SV Jain. Where I've done a project on the social cause. Okay, if you're doing a business, what is the social cause for your business? So obviously it was obvious that the wastage, food wastage, how do you manage it?
It is huge, I'm sure.
It is huge.
But unavoidable.
But unavoidable because we don't have an organized structure. Why there is a challenge? Generally an event gets over by 12 or 1 in the night. The food consumption for any NGO has already been done.
True.
By the
you
time,
cannot send food at 1 a.m. in the morning, right?
Like at our house, what we do is we, for the leftover food, we'll put it in a nice container and we refrigerate it.
True.
So it can
give it to our staff also.
Or give it to our staff to be consumed at that moment.
We're not going to give them lunch at 4 o'clock. We'll give it to them at 1:30.
Exactly. So it's either this or that. As we don't have anybody, any NGO taking the food and refrigerating it. Because the kind of food wastage which comes out is in multiple kilos and liters. So you don't have that cold rooms or those facilities. The same food getting consumed the next day morning, it could be starting from a breakfast or lunch, the food is not in a good state to be consumed. So the food is in not that great state. It could be food poison, it could be stale, it could be with bacteria or whatever. So all those things are not correct. If there is assuming if there is a piece of land which government can allot, and there are food science people and all the caterers, all the restaurateurs who are being informed that if you have some leftover food, you just leave it here. In such a larger wedding, like spending 3,000 or 5,000 rupees a vehicle to just send the food there, but somebody to receive it and just check.
And store it right.
And store it. Now, what are they doing? Are they getting the food from across Bombay city, for example, or from anywhere else? And people know that next day morning there is free food available. Whosoever wants to go on that particular piece of land, people can go and eat food. So that's like free food.
That's a very good idea for the government of Maharashtra, the Bombay Municipal Corporation and the authorities to create a space where a food which has been refrigerated, transported and stored. And next day, all those who are looking for food, it's given under the understanding that you don't have to take it away, but you have to eat it on the spot.
Correct.
And I'm sure all caterers and hotels will be very happy.
Even for a restaurant, like just going off my catering industry, though they are a part of the food industry, there are a lot of restaurants, I'm not talking about the fine dines or anything like that, but there are restaurants which are right adjacent to the street. We see a lot of refrigerators standing out, like, having bottles of water or Pepsi or Coke, anything like that. One smaller, simple fridge. The moment a guest who's leaving the restaurant table, they have some extra food, you please pack that food and leave in that fridge. Anybody can open and take that food. It just has to be dated and kept inside. Like, all your street food. So there are ideas where I think so. I don't know how much
the government authorities have to work in tandem.
I don't know how much it's practically possible, not possible. It's owner driven. It's an individual view. There are a lot of things. But these are the few ideas where food can be a little.
And I think in a city like Bombay, with its monsoon, it's very difficult for the food to have a long shelf life, unlike say a winter month in Punjab where the food will have a longer shelf.
But at the same time, in my company, what we are trying to do right now, Parthip, is initially everything was manual. Now we have last 1 year's data, like what is the kind of food getting consumed as per different communities, different sizes of the menu, and it is all getting stored into a tech. So maybe down the line, 2-3 years down the line, we'll have a good amount of data. If this is the kind of wedding and this is the size of the menu.
So it varies from community, the function, type of function. Obviously at a wedding and a Sangeet.
There are many variabilities. Like suppose for an example, like if I'm having alcohol today, the starter consumption is going to be higher, the mains are going to be lower. But there is a standardization which has been possible.
And even season? Even during a winter season, maybe people will have more gravy food?
Exactly. They'll have hot food. During the winter season, they're going to have hot food. So all these variabilities, when you put into it, my system will try to give you a data where, your food production is to be this much, and it gives you a little bit of closer where you can avoid food wastage.
And data can really help you.
Data is important.
So with every passing year, the food wastage will be lesser.
Will be lesser. So that's the moment we have started from last 1.5 year. And we have ample amount of data at the moment. So let's say within 2-3 years, we'll have good amount of data, which I can share also to people around and me.
Great. And I think if you can make that available for more caterers, it's a great service you are doing.
It's a great service.
And after all, even brides and grooms will relate to that. Right?
Correct.
They understand there's a lot which is. But would you agree when I say that if you have daytime weddings, if you choose to have daytime weddings and you choose to complete service by 12, it could still be easy to redistribute the food?
Possible.
At least it can reach some homes.
Yes,
by
for sure.
Afternoon too.
For sure.
Jai, I'm going to ask you some questions. You can respond with one word, agree, disagree, or elaborate. Fusion menus are overrated.
Agree.
Catering trials or tastings are necessary, unnecessary?
Are necessary only for newer items, not for comfort food and items which have been there from ages together.
A bride and groom eat the least at their own wedding.
Absolutely correct. It's not only the bride and the groom, it's even the family.
When it comes to catering, Gujarati families are the ones who have the best budgets.
No, I would not say that. It's all across India. Wedding is such a thing, like, it's across India and across the globe, I would say. People spend as per their capacity and they really want to go out beyond their budget.
But Gujarati families obviously have.
I would not take it away from them, but they are one of them.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question and a prompt. The one food item that should be never on which should actually, let's start with the one food item which should be on every wedding menu.
The mains.
Mains.
Depending upon your community, which could be you're from Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra,
you can't just
North
have a
Indian.
very elaborate starter and a meze platter and anything.
No.
The mains are
the
all
mains.
important.
The mains
And
are
which
always
should,
important.
which is avoidable. Is there anything which is avoidable?
Salads.
Okay.
It's like
I'm not a salad person, so I really love that answer.
Yeah.
If you were to create a 3-dish dream menu,
Yeah.
just 3 dishes.
Yeah.
I know it's very difficult.
Very, very
what is the
difficult.
maximum number of dishes you've ever had at a wedding?
I've never counted as such, but we always say that whatever
300 plus.
300 plus, 300 plus.
I know to ask somebody who's created a 300-dish menu,
Yeah.
and just with 3 dishes, a dreamy menu, what would those 3 dishes be?
Oh my God, that's like a very, very tricky question you're asking for. But I would start with a soup. All right, it could be in any Oriental soup.
Okay.
I would do a Italian main, and to end with, I would do an Italian risotto. So that's how I would want to do a 3-course menu kind of a thing. Yeah.
One wedding dessert,
Yeah.
which is very popular at most weddings and is also consumed the most.
One wedding dessert, Indian or international?
You can pick Indian and Western.
Indian, anything which is milk based, which is like you can say your rasmalais, your rabdis and everything like that, that's always higher on consumption. And for international dessert, anything which is coming out of the flavor of chocolate has the highest consumption. It could be your pastries, it could be your dressing or anything like that. Anything coming out of the chocolate flavor is higher on the consumption.
So a chocolate flavored Western dessert,
Yeah.
and an Indian dessert with a milk ingredient are always the most consumed.
All higher on consumption.
Got it. Is the paneer tikka the most consumed starter at a vegetarian wedding?
Anything which is based out of cottage cheese or paneer it's highly consumed.
Vegetarians love cottage cheese. Right?
Vegetarians love cottage cheese.
What do you think about these very popular chart counters? Is it a must-have at every wedding you've done?
Depends again as on the audience. Like there are certain audience it's a kind of must-have. Like their food starts with chart, and there are certain events where if you don't have it, also people don't miss it. It's not necessary to have charts in all the menu, but it's there. It does play a very important role onto the menu creations.
For many weddings, it completes.
For many weddings, it completes. Yeah.
But there are weddings you've done where they would probably
No charts. Yeah. Many.
Some fun questions. What's the most unusual food request you've ever got from a client?
So there was one wedding, it was a Marwadi wedding. So in their culture, what they have, and the groom and their friends, they have the Sajjan court kind of a thing, when the family comes in. So they have that kind of ritual where they say that we can call for food, anything which is maybe in the menu, may not be in the menu. So I had a wedding somewhere in the sea face of the Gymkhana's wedding here, and that groom's very, very close friend had asked for pizza from New Yorkers. And we had pizzas on the menu, but he wanted to eat pizzas only from New Yorkers. And that guy literally waited for those 45 minutes till my team went to New Yorkers and got the pizzas. And
fortunately, it was not too far.
Yeah, fortunately, it was not too far. So something of those kind of exceptional demands,
And budget permitting, the restaurant experience at weddings is also popular today, where you bring in trending restaurants.
Yes.
But only provided the client has a budget for it, right? Not everybody.
It's a beautiful and an excellent trend which we are seeing, where a lot of industry people are now getting roped into the wedding industry.
So these are what you call restaurant pop-ups
the
at a
restaurant
wedding?
pop-ups or the specialty chefs.
Okay.
So those are like the kind of vendors who have, maybe gone to excel to whatever they are doing in that particular cuisine or that particular food. So like if you have the budget, so why not have the best in there? So like there could be a pizza maker coming from Japan, or there could be a chaat wala coming from Banaras, doing whatever they have excelled into. But it's a brilliant addition to the menu, whether it could be a destination wedding or somewhere we are doing locally.
Okay. Do guests secretly judge a wedding more by the food than the decor?
Yeah. If you ask me, obviously yes. Yeah.
You don't have to be politically correct.
Yeah,
So
because I fear with my
your planner friends will not get upset.
I fear with my planner and decor
or decorator friends.
my decorative friends. But yes, like on an experience for a guest, like they will come and they'll observe the whole decor in the next 5-10 minutes. But what they're going to really take back home is the food, which they're going to, like, on an average, what we say, the guest comes and spends 15 to 20 minutes in the event area, other than the Sangeet, when it's a wedding reception or like, and at least 30 to 45 minutes in the dining area. So keeping that proportion on the spending time also, you're more in the food area, and that's where the memories are getting,
That's an interesting statistic for WeddingSutra followers. The guest at a wedding spends 15 to 20 minutes in the main area or observing the decor, but 30 minutes or more at the food counter.
Yeah.
Jai, what's more challenging? Impressing Gen Z couples who want global cuisine or grandparents who want the perfect puri and sabji?
The Gen Z couple. It's more difficult because they've been traveling across the globe. They've eaten their food connoisseurs. They've eaten in different restaurants. They've eaten at best of the chefs' restaurants. So it's difficult to convince them with the kind of knowledge we have. But luckily, we have been doing it quite successfully.
So it's easier managing the tastes of the parents and grandparents than Gen Z couples.
Yeah.
And finally, Jai, who actually decides the wedding menu at a good old hometown wedding, big wedding? Yeah. Is it the couple, the parents, or the foodie uncle?
I'll take a transition time here. So when I started getting trained under my father, as I'm the second generation into the business, and that was the time it was Parthip majorly done by the elders of the family. All right. But I've seen a good transition now. The youngsters, especially the bride and the groom and their friends and their cousins, whosoever, and especially people who are food connoisseurs, are the decision makers now. So I've seen the elders giving them the authority or, like, the right to say something, or I would not say right, but allow them to have their own opinion, and we design the menus keeping them in mind. So it's now the whole family coming across. Initially it was something different. So that's a beautiful transition, I would say.
So with me was Jai Shah of Popular Hospitality and Caterers, who took us behind the scenes to tell us all that happens when preparing those elaborate cuisines for a big or intimate wedding. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Parthip. Thank you.